Hello, Enver.
Hi,
Very nice to have you here with us.
thank you for having me here.
We had a wonderful event yesterday. You've been telling us about your experiences in China, in Xinjiang. We've heard cruel stories about organ harvesting, about methods of the Communist Party of China, torturing people and putting them in jail. So you are Uyghur. You are from this region. Your people nowadays are still suffering this suppression, this terror. And yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself. You've been working in a hospital. You're an oncology surgeon. And please tell me, let me know what led you and what brought you, what did you figure out in the hospital? What made you research about cancer? What did make you think about these recent atrocities? Yes.
Thank you very much. Yesterday, I only told half the story, even less than half. I'm not sure if I can tell you the full story because it will take hours. Let's just focus on this organ harvesting. The thing is, the organ harvesting, this terminology I come across is that I was already in London, and that was 2009. In London, Westminster Parliament, there was a event presenting a book called "State Organs," and Ethan Gutman was saying it's extremely difficult to find first-hand evidence. Mm-hmm. I think it's not me. I think it's Lord or something made my hands raised up because I wasn't prepared. And I raised up and they come to me and I told this story. The story I told them last night, what happened, and what we were told, don't tell anything, just remember nothing happened today. So that day was the day I joined this anti-organ harvesting, just campaigning. There's something we didn't have time last night. It was after that encounter, my memory recalls everything happened. So this can be traced back. First encounter with this kind of stuff is in 1990. I was sitting in outpatient department because we shift changing. We have to go to the outpatient department every 3 years for 6 months. One day there was a Uyghur man brought his teenager son and come to me and asking me, said, could you please check my son if he has an organ missing? And I said, what made you say that? And he is coming from the Urumqi County, which is not far from our hospital, the Urumqi Railway Central Hospital. And he said, in the county, there's a rumor in the air that's saying that there are people stealing the kidney from the young kids. And I said, well, this is the first time I'm hearing it. So I examined his son's body. I didn't find any scar on his body. So I said, don't worry. Nobody can take an organ from your son without leaving any scar. So he was happy, he left. But this opened a door for the flooding, you know. He told everyone, said, in that hospital there's a Uyghur surgeon who speaks Uyghur language, and he's a very good doctor. Then I saw more than 100 in next 6 months. They were bringing the kids. And I saw 3 out of this 100. They had long scar on the body because kidney is quite deep. If you want to take a kidney out, the scar has to be really big. 3. That was the first encounter for me. But that time, the terminology called organ harvesting is not heard of. Only heard that people are stealing organs. Stealing organs in our society, it's not something new. This can be traced back to the Second World War, Japanese occupation of Manchuria. There's one unit called 731. This unit has done so many, inhuman experiments with that POWs. After Japanese surrounded, all stuff in that union was taken by the Chinese government. And they were relocated in the Manchuria. This, just like this Second World War, that the German scientists were taken by the United States, everybody. It's the same thing. And then all these documents taken by the Chinese government, many medical data is coming from there. They already attempted this organ transplantation then. And that's why Chinese organ transplantation base is in Manchuria, in Dalian, city of Dalian. And I was a surgeon. We heard about this, said this is the newest medical technology, organ transplantation. Well, that time I was just a young surgeon and don't have that privilege to come across about that. Until that event I told last night how I went to the execution ground. There's something missing last night. It was that man I was operated on. He was wearing the civilian's clothes. And he had hair. And the bullet shot into his right chest. So when I come into the one and try to cut, when my skull tried to cut, he tried to struggle, but he's too weak to resist my insertion because he's knocked out already. And also from this cut, I can see the blood coming out. That is to say the heart is still pumping blood. I understood the reason they shot on the right chest, to execute him, but let him die a little later, so that I will have time to extract his organs. And that is my encounter with this. So by the time 2009, I already heard this organ harvesting, this terminology. So I raised my hand and become part of it. Then I thought I will become part of it, then I become the leading campaigner on this.
Enver, there are many, many political prisoners in China. There are religious and ethnic minorities that are persecuted, that are thrown into jail. And we have high numbers of organ transplantation. How is that connected?
This connection, I'm afraid, and unfortunately, has kind of misused by the people in outside China. We can make this as very simple, because Chinese Communist Party only care the citizen to follow Communist Party. Anything else, if you follow, you will be treated as the enemy of the state. Since you become enemy of the state, you are subject to any punishment available, regardless your ethnic background, regardless your religion. So this is the only, their own standard, their own criteria to make you as the victim. And the reason that people knows Falun Gong, the people knows Christians, house Christian, and the people knows Uyghur Muslims got persecuted, is because other group they didn't have representative. So, in my opinion, the largest group of victim of the communist is the Han Chinese themselves. And the Chinese government using this by promoting ethnicity is to create hatred between this Han Chinese and this other ethnic group, so that they will create a division, hatred for the long run. That is their purpose. And as I put it at the conclusion last night, that the Chinese government and Chinese Communist Party, they do everything to maintain chaos. And this piece of land called Xinjiang is the land they maintain chaos. Because so-called terrorist attack, I can give you detailed analysis of every single terrorist attack. All are staged, framed by the Communist Party themselves. For example, I can give you one example. There was one car exploded in Tiananmen Square. That car with Xinjiang number plate. And that is 2013, 2014, and during that time, China is on the high alert on the terrorism. And there was a journalist from BBC called Danny Vincent. He's a black guy, my friend. He reported about Uyghur in Kashgar, and he come back complaining to me, said, there are some Uyghurs claim they are Uyghur, and their skin is darker than mine. And he said, what is this? And I said, look, nowadays Uyghurs, it's not pure. We have all different kind of people. And this is very complicated story. So this man called me, he said, what are you going to explain this Tiananmen Square, this car explosion? And I said, simply, I'm challenging you, go to Urumqi, buy a second-hand Range Rover car, four-wheel drive, and put Xinjiang number plate on it, and you take that Islamic extremist, that black flag, and the Quran in the car. Try to drive the car from Urumqi to Beijing. If you can arrive Beijing, I will double your expenses. And he said, okay, I got your point. Because that is impossible. Because simply entering Beijing, you need a permission, special permission to enter Beijing. But how could you pass this 5 provinces without being stopped? Because your Xinjiang number plate itself is sensitive enough for people who want to make extra money, they will stop you. And you never got stopped. So the whole thing is actually staged. So by bringing this in, and I'm trying to explain that the human rights situation in China, it's not only just minority of victims. The majority victims are Han Chinese. So when we do this campaigning, we shouldn't forget about them. Yeah, because in the future, we are looking for living side by side peacefully. Yeah, so we should take away this gap.
Thank you.
Thank
yes, that's a very important point. Yesterday, you've also been talking about free health checkups.
Yeah.
That were offered in Xinjiang, and you also told us that only Uyghur people would go to these free health checkups. What is the reason behind that? And you told us about the information about their blood group and everything that the authorities collect. And I would like to combine it with the other question. If a sick person needs an organ and finally gets an organ from China in a very short time, what is behind that? How are those two things, the free checkups in Xinjiang and the quick delivery of an organ, how is this connected?
Free checkup. I worked as surgeon in Xinjiang. I never seen a free checkup. It's not possible because checkup is quite expensive. So when I see that piece of news suddenly come to my front page on my laptop, it's free checkup. So what? Then I hold this news and started digging. And it says that they offer in Chinese, and it's under the love from our great party. We are extending the party's love to the minorities, so we give them free checkup. And since before 7 years is too young, after 60 years is too old, so we gave this 7 to 60 years in between. And and on that piece of information, it says Uyghur people, they were nomad before, so they haven't established systematically documented health record. So for that reason, for the convenience of healthcare system, we encourage every eligible candidate come forward to have your your body checkup. Mm-hmm. And that have resulted as that video you saw last night. Mm-hmm. Of course, for many innocent people, that is good news. If you suddenly find something wrong with your body, you can get treated on time. I'm sure that's not the case. The reason I'm coming up is that to make the money-making machine, this organ harvesting, work even faster. Since they have all your data in the computer, what next is just waiting for you to come. And how you're going to connect them, you go into internet. You say, I want an organ. Mm-hmm. Then there will be list of these brokers and the hospitals come out. And it depends on your knowledge in Chinese, or you can visit the hospital's site directly, or you can visit an agent, which they have language you understand. Then they will ask you to submit a form with some of your blood sample. Yeah. Then you will receive a letter. Mm-hmm. Saying, yes, we may have they don't straightly say, yes, we found organ, no. They will say, in 2 weeks or 3 weeks' time, there was an organ maybe ready for you.
Mm-hmm.
Then they suggest you to pay and come to the city. They tell you, of course, after you pay, they will tell you where to go. And they will promise you, in extreme case, within 2 months, you will receive your organs. Generally, 2 weeks. Emergency case, 4 hours. And all this can be achieved only if you have plenty of organs next to you ready. So since organs cannot be kept in the fridge, so they keep the human beings alive.
What do you mean specifically? How are organs kept? I mean, they have to be people. Where are those people? How does this work specifically?
Yeah, those people, and they don't keep these people like concentration camp. Those people, they themselves, even they don't know they have been selected as donor. Because the data is already on the computer, central computer. Once this one was selected, this will be sent to the police department. And they will send it to the local police and say, we have suspect this man is a terrorist suspect or something else. Then the local will arrest this man, then this man will disappear. Then you will receive confirmation, yeah, this organ, because there's few different ways. One is they will collect a group of people and execute them so that you have to wait until the execution. Another way is individual, mm-hmm. but you have to pay more, mm-hmm. because they will bring this individual into the theater. 2 theaters, you are in this room, that is in that room. They take organs and then cross the theater and put inside your body. Mm-hmm. And that person will never wake up.
And the families of those people, will they witness what happened? What do the authorities tell them?
Family, they never find out. And the family, they are not allowed even ask, where is my son or where is my husband? No. Since it disappeared, it disappeared. So
we have several things happening at the same time. We have systematic extraction of organs, killing people, which is breaking a major number of human rights. At the same time, we have prison camps. We have forced labor. What is happening to people in Xinjiang that are critical, that try to speak up? What happens to them?
In Xinjiang, people, they are not treated as human beings. No, you are not even the second or third class of human. No, you are not human being. You are not treated as human being. You're treated as the asset of the state. Therefore, they can do whatever they want on you, because you don't have representative. You don't have nobody to speak on behalf of you. Only you guys, you are the, as I said, guardian angel to guarding those people. Doesn't matter what you say, even you didn't say anything, they will find a crime and then put on your head and get you executed or whatever punishment.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you. Enver, you've been telling us about numerous crimes against humanity what should we do? What are the possibilities that we still have living in a liberal democracy? What do you expect us to do?
According to my experience on campaigning on this, I have seen that not many people they are eager to take on this case, and I know why. To have better life, to live longer, to extend oneself's life expectations, it is one's ultimate right. He can do that, and he is allowed to do that. So we cannot stop anyone paying money to the Chinese government and go there to get an organ, because you really cannot stop. Even some countries, they made a law to stop it. Just people, they just simply get out of this country, go to another country where it's legal. So my message is to any anyone who wants organ from China. I will say I'm not against you, but just make sure the organ you received is voluntarily donated. And asking for the signature or volunteer donation form, of course, Chinese government, they will make up such things, but at least you will be guilty free from the God, from the Lord. When you pass the next world, you will be judged. Just make sure for anyone who wants to do that, just make sure you are not killing another one for your own life, because you are taking life, and that is not allowed in your next life.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing else more I can say, because there's really very limited things we can do.
Thank you, Enver.
Thank you.